Hi, I'm Tangela Johnson. I am the president of NGC, and I'm an organizational development consultant and an executive coach. So I want to talk to you today about passive aggressiveness in the workplace. And you're probably thinking, why does that matter? What is your point there? Well, a few weeks ago, I was talking to my husband just about general state of the work type stuff. And I brought up the topic of passive aggressiveness. I said, now do you think that most people have some type of passive aggressive trait? And so we had that conversation, and we decided that, yeah, that's probably true. So let's talk about how it plays out in the workplace, and let's define it. Passive aggressiveness is really indirect aggression. Indirect aggression. Let me give you an example. Let's say a friend of yours calls up and wants you to help them paint. And the last thing on earth you want to do is help them paint, right? So instead of you telling that person that, you ignore their phone calls, you ignore their texts, and you make sure that you don't see them or talk to them until after the painting's done. Now, that may sound a little silly, but that is a form of passive aggressiveness. In the workplace, how that plays out is people miss deadlines, or you're supposed to work together on a project, but there's an element of that project that you don't agree with. So instead of saying, I don't agree with that, let's talk about some other options, you don't say anything, but yet you miss the deadlines. Passive aggressive behavior. So we all exhibit those types of behaviors at different times. The key is to be aware of how and when and why you do those things. If you're in leadership and you are frequently passive aggressive, you minimize your credibility, and you're seen as a person who really lacks integrity and courage. I'll give you an example. Many, many years ago, I had a boss who was a little passive aggressive at times, and it took me a while to figure that out. I actually had worked one particular week, probably 60 hours, and on average I would work 50 hours a week anyway, and I was salaried. And so this particular Friday I wanted to get off a few hours early because I was going to take a trip. So other people in the office would do that, go play golf, do different things. It wasn't really that big of a deal. So I didn't think it was that big of a deal, and perhaps I should have asked, right? But I left work early that day, and weeks later, I happened to look at my vacation time, and on that very same day, he had taken a half a day of vacation from me, when all he had to do was talk to me about the situation. He never mentioned it to me. I found out really by accident. That's passive-aggressive behavior in leadership. Think about how you interact with people. Think about your behavior. Are you avoiding people that you don't want to talk to? Are you very short and curt with someone that you have an issue with? Are you talking about an individual to someone else instead of talking to that person? Well, kind of have to look in the mirror. That's passive-aggressive behavior. And long term, it erodes relationships and it erodes trust. So you don't want to be that person, right? That's not a great look. I'm Tangela Johnson, president of NGC. We absolutely love, to help organizations build strong leaders and strong cultures. Thank you.